Welcome back to another episode of Tellmesispodcast, featuring your two favorite sisters,
Alex
and Kyla.
Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. I hope you're having a beautiful week. For us, it's been really hot. We've had the past few days have been insane.
Not complaining though, because we went quite a while where it was rainy, overcast, and it's summer.
I know.
I just want it to be beautiful weather.
I know. It's really nice, honestly, to have the heat. For us, it's our whole house doesn't have AC. So when it gets too hot, it's a little hard because it's very uncomfortable. But it's honestly the humidity. If we lived in a climate where it wasn't humid, it wouldn't be that bad.
Yeah. It's true. You don't have AC.
In the old part of the home. Because in here we do.
Yeah, in this room it feels fine. I mean, you have a huge fan.
Yeah.
That's going right now, but still. Do you have AC in your bedroom though? When you sleep, is it comfortable?
In our bedroom it is, but it doesn't get as cold as down here.
Okay.
The upstairs is still hot, and because the rest of the house is hot, because the rest of the upstairs is the old part of the home, and we only have AC units in the windows in the kids' rooms.
Yeah.
And we close their doors, so it's really hot.
Yeah. Arky's room though is, Arky and Rue's, but when I went into Arky's room the night that I was babysitting him recently, the second we walked in, I was like, oh, this feels really good.
Yeah.
It's like walking into a different building entirely.
Yeah.
You know?
It's nice. I mean, we had to make sure they had AC.
I guess we'll get into our updates.
Yeah.
But I was babysitting Arky and Rue, my sister, and Dan went to go see a movie. When me and Arky were watching Guardians of the Galaxy before I put him to bed, I remember thinking I feel dirty and gross right now. I feel kind of, it wasn't super sticky, but I just felt dirty.
Yeah.
It was probably because there was no AC, and I was like, why do I feel like this? I feel like I need to go home and shower, but you guys came back at midnight.
Yeah.
So I was exhausted by the time I got home, but I put on the AC in my car and I was like, okay, I don't feel as gross right now, but I took a shower when I got home.
Yeah, it's honestly just it feels like stale air.
Yeah.
Because we'll have the windows open, but because it's so humid, all of the house just gets wet. It feels dewy. Do you know what I mean? It's not
a little bit.
It's not a dry heat. And so it's nice to have AC units in their windows, in their bedroom, so it gets nice and cold. And then we have the central air conditioning system in our bedroom, in the new extension of the home, but it still gets hot because we keep our door open and the rest of the home is warm. So whatever. It's like you said, I don't want to complain because I feel like I complain when it's too cold and then I complain when it's too hot, but I have a really bad internal temperature when it comes to extremes. I can't do either extreme.
You have there's a middle ground that you need. See, for me, when I'm sleeping, I'm like that when I'm awake. I'm very sensitive to a room if it's too cold or too hot. But when I'm going to bed, even in the winter, I have a ceiling fan and I need it to be on. I never put it to the lowest setting. It's normally the medium setting. I would put it to the highest setting, so it's going the fastest, but it dries out my eyes. Okay. And I already have that eye condition. So it makes, if I put it on the highest setting anyways, I wake up, my eye is just bloodshot red and super dry and irritated. But I need my bedroom to be cold when I'm sleeping because then I like getting all cozy under my duvet. And sometimes I even put a second blanket on top. I really want to get a heated blanket, side note. Not a heated, a weighted blanket. But when I sleep, I like my room to be a little frosty.
I feel like a lot of people are like that. I don't have the option for that, unfortunately, because it just does not get cold enough in our house.
Would you guys put a separate fan in your bedroom?
We do have one.
But it's good enough, or you're still kind of uncomfortable?
I'm not hot. I'm comfortable.
Okay.
But it won't make the room cold. We'd have to have 4 fans. It's too big.
Yeah.
That's the issue. And
as long as you're comfortable though.
Yeah, we're fine. And like I said, we moved into this house in February. So we have so much time to really fix it up and make it our own. And we're learning about the house every single day. I mean, Dan recently found another air duct randomly hidden behind a secret door we had in the closet. It's weird. There's different compartments we're finding and different things. So because this house is so old, there's so much we just don't know. It's kind of cool to relearn this house. And I'm sure as we renovate and do things, it'll just over time, the next 10, 15 years, it'll be perfect. That's kind of our goal, long term.
Yeah. I mean, your house is huge too. So it takes a while. takes time, one bit at a time. Dan already did the hardwood floors in this room. I won't lie, I miss the green carpet everywhere. I loved it. Was so comfortable.
The carpet's comfy.
The look of it isn't, but it was dirty. But like,
because it's old, it's dirty. That's the main thing. Is my daughter was crawling all over it, and I'm like, what is on this carpet?
Well, when I moved into my condo, granted it's different because my condo was so much smaller. I have carpets in both bedrooms. I wanted to keep them, and I just got them professionally cleaned. But because like both bedrooms are a lot smaller, like this is it's like 2 huge rooms.
But it's not just that. This house is a lot older than your condo. This is like a historic home, and the carpet has been in here for a long time. Even if we got it professionally cleaned, like it doesn't take out everything. I was like, I'd rather just get rid of the carpet, especially in this room, which she plays in the most. I was like, I just want it out. But then we took a back seat in the renovations because it's summer and we'd rather be outside, and it's so busy. Like, I was not prepared for how busy the summer was going to be. Last summer, I was like, you know what? My daughter was born and I had a newborn. So I was like, it's going to be the same as last summer. It's going to be so easy. I'm going to have all this time to do all these things. I'm so excited. But no, because I have a toddler now. She's basically walking. So it's not the same as a newborn that just like sleeps everywhere and we just go on my son's schedule. It's very much on like both of their schedules. So Dan and I really have to split time and doing different things. And I'm trying to also get in work and then also just like have me time. And then Dan wants his time. Yeah. So trying to figure out a good balance of that, plus on top of it, having the kids and having activities and doing a million things, wanting to see friends. And we only have summer for like 2.5 months. So we're really trying to pack it all in. I was definitely humbled. I'm like, okay, noted. Next summer, I'm going to be prepared for it to be extra, extra busy. So I just need to time manage properly and like set it up.
Also, like, because Arky's getting older now, he's 5. He's doing so much more in the summers. He's not like super young, he's just with his friends sometimes, but like for the most part he's like just with you guys, and his social life is your social life. He's got his own life. And he's a part of a bunch of different clubs and sports, and he has his friends. So in the summer it's a lot more, but then at least he already started preschool. Now he's going to be going to kindergarten in the winter, so at least you have that.
Also, because he was in school this whole year, I forgot that I wasn't going to have that same time. Like, I knew it was going to be busier. I just was not. I was very, like I said, very humbled. So it's good. I like being busy. It reminds me of when we were kids and we would do so many things all day.
I know.
And we'll get into this later on in the episode, but we're essentially going to be like talking about this. But I wanted to know if you have any updates, because you told me something kind of creepy.
Yeah, so I do have an update. I've been like kind of sleep deprived. For the most part, I'm not getting many hours of sleep per night, but some nights are better than others. Yeah. Anyways, so I've been sleep deprived, a little bit stressed. I'm exhausted. This was 3 nights ago. I experienced sleep paralysis for the 2nd time in my life. I don't know if like anyone knows what sleep paralysis is, but it's essentially when your brain starts waking up from a dream before your body wakes up. So your body is still paralyzed, and I think that it's specific to when you wake up and you're in your REM sleep, which is like the deepest point of your sleep you can be in, and your body goes paralyzed when you're in your REM sleep so that you're not actually acting out your dreams in real life. But anyway, so your mind starts waking up before your body does. So your body is fully paralyzed, but your brain is more awake and aware. So like you see your bedroom. That's not a dream. I saw my fan going. I like knew what position I was laying in my bed. Because my mind isn't fully awake yet, it's still kind of projected. This is what sleep paralysis is. Like, your brain doesn't fully wake up. It's awake enough where it sees your surrounding environment, but it still projects your dream-like state into your reality. So people either will see something in their bedroom, like a dark figure or like a person, or they'll feel a presence, or they hear sounds. And so for me this time, because it's happened to me twice in my life, this time I woke up, I saw my bedroom, I knew what position I was in. I always sleep with my bedroom door closed and locked. Just like makes me feel safer. I just don't like being in like a big open space when I'm sleeping. And I heard scratching and someone knocking at my door, my bedroom door, but I couldn't move because my body is still paralyzed. But it's not real, obviously, but it feels real because your brain is awake and you see yourself, you see your bedroom, and like you can't move your body, but you're still projecting your dreams into your reality. And it's the scariest thing. You can't move, you can't scream, you can't do anything. And it doesn't really feel fully like a dream either.
Yeah, it's happened to me before. It feels different than when you wake up from a dream and you're like, oh, that felt so real. It's not the same kind of feeling.
No, this is like, it feels real. And I thought someone was trying to break into my room. And I felt myself, my brain starting to fully wake up slowly. It is the weirdest feeling ever.
Yeah, I know.
Because I went from being paralyzed and like so confused and scared to all of a sudden, like it felt like this like fog was kind of like exiting my mind, and slowly but surely I was like, oh, this wasn't real. And the noise stopped instantly. Whoa. And I was able to move my body, but like I knew it was sleep paralysis because when I actually did start fully waking up, I was in the position that I was seeing myself in, and everything looked the same. It's just the noise went away and I realized, okay, that wasn't real, but that was sleep paralysis, and it's effing terrifying. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. It's only happened to me once before in my life, and the first time it ever happened to me, well, twice now. First time it ever happened to me was a few years ago in my condo as well, but I heard and saw a little girl in the corner of my room, and she got up and walked beside my bed, and she wasn't like evil or trying to hurt me or anything, but it was just creepy. And I remember getting out of my sleep paralysis and like tossing my body to the side and like going to like fling my arm at her. I was like this, and she like disappeared in the moment, and I ended up like knocking over a bunch of stuff on my bedside table.
Oh my God.
It's just so fucking creepy. It's terrifying. And so that was 3 nights ago. The night after that, I was scared to go to sleep. And I ended up getting in bed much earlier because I was exhausted. I put on rain sounds. I slept with my closet door open with the light on in my closet. I was so scared.
Okay.
I didn't want it to be dark in my room. And I went to bed a little bit earlier, but I woke up at 2 a.m. and I couldn't fall back asleep until like 6:30.
Oh my God, it's the worst.
And like, I remember looking at the time, and then it was like 4 a.m. and I was like, should I just get out of bed? Because like I literally felt so awake.
Yeah. But
I knew that like if I get out of bed now, like, I'm gonna be so freaking exhausted, and I'm gonna want to go back to bed at like 6:30. But that's when I had to be up.
Yeah. And
so anyways, I ended up only falling back asleep at maybe like 6. My alarm goes off at 6:30, so I had to wake up, and I was so tired all freaking day.
Oh my gosh.
And I felt anxious and like
irritated,
and I don't know, I just felt like very weird.
Well, there's a reason why humans need to sleep.
I know. And I just felt like I was having like this weird out of body experience yesterday. So anyways, my sister told me, because I was like, are there any sleeping pills I can take like over the counter, just like something, because I really want to be able to sleep tonight. Because we were supposed to record this episode yesterday, but I ended up telling my sister, like, listen, I'm freaking exhausted. Yeah. And if there's any way we can record tomorrow instead, like, that would just be so much better, because otherwise the episode would have just been...
You would have been sleeping. It would have been me talking. You would have been like this.
No, literally. It would have been worse than the episode when I was hungover.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
So anyways, we're recording today instead, but I ended up getting NyQuil, the pill form.
Yeah.
And... it put me to sleep. I didn't wake up all night, which I love, because if I ever take Tylenol night, which I don't do this often, I try not to take sleeping pills because then your body starts depending on it. But when I'm really desperate, that's like when it's like last case scenario.
Yeah.
So every once in a while I'll do like a Tylenol night, extra strength, and it will help, but like I'll still wake up.
Yeah, NyQuil usually just knocks me out.
NyQuil, that's what you told me, and it's true. I slept the entire night. I woke up this morning feeling a little bit groggy, which is normal.
Yeah.
And after an hour, I was like, hey, I'm good.
I think a lot of people recommend like melatonin or like those gummies that have melatonin in it because it's more natural. But for me, if I'm like really sick and I need to sleep, NyQuil is the only thing that like will work for me in those scenarios. So for you, it's kind of like, since it's been a few nights now of you not sleeping properly, and yeah, melatonin will help you fall asleep, but you probably would wake up. I was like, just take a NyQuil, honestly, because you're not going to do it every night. And NyQuil to me like works so well. And I also was wondering too, since you started back on your medication, not at the super high dose, but like on a higher dose, I know that hinders sleep. It's one of the main things, and it can make you more anxious.
Yeah, and I think that that's just like a given. Like I'm not even overthinking that. I know right away. I'm like, my medication is definitely not helping.
Yeah.
But the thing is that it really, really helps with my ADD and my overall mood. So like my moods aren't as up and down. It's a lot more stable. Like I still feel like myself. I have emotions. I have moments where I'm feeling a lot better than other times, but like I'm able to, like overall I just feel a lot more regulated, because that's a common symptom with ADD. I don't have as much trouble starting tasks. Once I get the task started, I'm a lot more focused and I'm able to get it done. So I won't start a bunch of different things and then not finish them off. One thing it does affect is my sleep, and it's just when you, after like consecutive nights in a row, like a while of not getting the best sleep, it really does catch up to you and affect you.
I mean, they say one of the most important things you can do as an adult for long-term health benefit is to get 8 hours of sleep a night.
Yeah. So what I told myself I'm going to start doing is on weekends not taking my ADD pills.
Oh, you take it every day?
I take it every day because I don't have like a traditional 9 to 5. I'm working on like a few different things right now, and I don't really take weekends off either. Like every single day is like, there's tasks that I give myself a schedule. And
for work or just for in life?
For both.
For both. And on weekends you also do for work?
Yep.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think I need to go weekends without it though. I need to get more sleep.
Yeah. For me, it doesn't really hinder my sleep. I'm also on a lower dose than you. I could tell that if I went up a dose, it would be like spot perfect when it came to like my focus and my memory and all that. But I don't need it. Like it's good enough on this dose, and I'm still sleeping. Like it doesn't really affect me negatively in any way. I don't have any issues with like Raynaud's or anything. Everything is great. So I stick on it like that. But I do know like I still am a mom, and like my daughter has been sick. So she hasn't been sleeping the best just because she had a virus, and over like a few nights of those, I'm like, oh my gosh, it made me feel like I was back in the newborn phase where you're just not sleeping.
Yeah.
And what that does to you as a human being when you are in the trenches of no sleep, and some people do this for years with their kids, and it's like it changes you as a human.
Yeah.
It really does. And it is so exhausting. And then on top of it, when you have multiple kids and you don't sleep all night, and then you're up all day and you have to be alert with the kids, you have no break, no time for anything. It's like, whew, like I'm seeing it with a few people right now. I didn't really experience that because I'm really lucky in the sense that I had a big age gap, which helped. And then I also had a partner who's like super involved, and we just have similar schedules, so it works. I'm very grateful for that, but I know a lot of people don't. And just knowing how exhausting that is, like I truly feel like it makes you kind of a superhero in those moments, but I don't think it should be something that you should be okay with doing long term. Like it's just my personal opinion. I think it's so bad for your health, and some people will just like for years and years and years, like they just don't care. They just won't sleep. And it's like it's so unhealthy.
No, it really does. Like I don't even have kids, and the way that I've been feeling is just like
exhausted.
I'm exhausted. I'm irritable. It almost makes me feel, I don't want to say depressed, but like it really does make me feel almost depressed and like
down.
I'm like down. I feel like I'm just like, I don't know how to explain it. It takes a huge toll on you mentally. So it's like, oh my God, I'm exhausted, and I couldn't like imagining like me having kids and having to be with them and be on high alert and present in those moments, to me feels almost impossible.
I remember before I had kids and I would complain about being tired, and people with kids would be like, you don't know what tired is. And now that I am a parent, I can say that like I don't agree with that, because before I had kids, I still would be exhausted with things, either training or school, or I mean, pregnancy tired is exhausted. Like there's so many different things. And so just because you're not a parent doesn't mean that like you don't know what it is to feel exhausted. Because I remember feeling that way. And it's like so tiring.
It's also all relative too. Like it's
it's stressful when you're like, am I gonna sleep tonight? And then I would like get anxiety about like, am I gonna sleep tonight? Which then would make me not sleep because I'd be anxious.
Exactly.
It's like a cycle.
I know. It's a snowball effect. You just get to a point where it's like, that's why I was like, give me the NyQuil. Like I'm going. I left mom and dad's last night. I took the NyQuil. I wasn't sure how long it would take to kick in. I also wasn't even sure if it like would work on me. I think it took about an hour.
Yeah, it's like.
And what was cool too was that like it didn't.
Have you never taken NyQuil before?
I don't know. Like,
I've never. You're sick,
I never really bought NyQuil. Okay. No, I always do like if I'm sick, I do like Advil cold and sinus or Tylenol.
I see. Okay.
Tylenol cold and sinus, like at like the day and the nighttime pills. So I already had the Tylenol nighttime pills, but I was like, they don't always work. Like it'll help me fall asleep quicker, but then like I'll still wake up. And if I wake up during the night, that's it. Like it's as if I didn't take any pill. Like I have trouble falling back asleep, you know?
I don't remember ever until I was an adult having issues with sleep. Do you?
No. I used to sleep so well.
Yeah.
As a kid.
I always like woke up early,
but also when you're a kid, it's so different because you don't have like stress. You don't have all these experiences like subconsciously in your mind.
You're also growing so much. You're growing so much so that your body is like so exhausted just from like living and growing that it needs the rest. Actually, it's a pretty good segue into like this topic of the episode because we really wanted to chat about kind of like, I saw this thing on Substack. It was like the art of slowing down or something, or and just different times and how time as a kid felt so much slower than time now. And there's so much nuance to that. Like, and there's just so much to unpack when it comes to time in general. Just as a kid, like one summer of your life is like, let's say you're 4, you know, it's such a short fraction or a big fraction of your life. Whereas when you're in your 30s, a summer is like a blip. And so time just gets going. It gets faster and faster as you age. So that's just like a given. Yeah. But also with nowadays, I feel like with technology and social media and just everything and how everyone's very, what is it called when you're
fast paced?
When you don't, you have a short attention span.
Yeah.
It's just everything needs to be like quick and now, and there's no just chilling.
I also think that like when you're older, when you're an actual adult, and you're not changing as much year to year.
Yeah.
You know, everything feels a lot more like autopilot because our days are generally more repetitive as adults, and we're not changing as much every single year, especially the older we get.
Yeah.
It's like the older you get, who you were just a few years ago versus who you are in the present day is not so different. Like in a way that's like, you know, you're taller, you're going through puberty, you're experiencing things for the first time. It's like, it's all like, you know, you still change no matter what, but it's not as drastic. And so when you're a kid, like even just a few months or a full year, like I remember being in elementary school and, you know, our last day of, let's say, grade 3, taking the summer off and then coming back for grade 4, and everyone looked so different.
Yeah. Within a few months.
Exactly. So, and that's not the case.
No.
When you're an adult, like your aging slows down.
Also, our cousin made a good point about this the other day. She was talking. She said, when you're a kid, you have like the beginning of the chapter and the end of the chapter. And then you have the next chapter. So like usually that revolves around the school year. You have like September or the end of August to the end of June. Then you have your summer. So that's like one chapter and then you're on to the next. And you always have this break. And it's like, okay,
there's a lot more structure.
And then it's kind of like how people do it on a weekly basis now, like, oh, let's reset on a Monday, or like Sunday reset, you know, for the new week. But as a child or even a teenager, it's by year, and you have this like end date. Or even when you're in school, it's like you're working towards getting a job in the future, so you have like an end date. And then when that is done, a lot of people go through a mini crisis because they're like, well, I don't know what to do now with my life.
I went through such an identity crisis when I graduated university because I never took a break from school. I was always in school. And I graduated university when I was 24.
Yeah.
And what I studied in university was different from what I ended up doing, because basically what happened was I was in school full time. I was also in a relationship at the time, like a 4-year-long relationship. And I had 2 part-time jobs at restaurants. One was a breakfast restaurant. One was like a really fancy steakhouse. And that's when I started, you started taking off on social media. This was back in like 2014, 2013. And you started taking off on social media because of your Brandy Melville content. And then also on YouTube. And you were trying to convince me to model for Brandy. And I wasn't sure. I was a lot more private. My Instagram was private. But I was always interested in modeling, but I was just a very private person. Anyways, I ended up agreeing. And you ended up taking pictures of me, posted it on your personal accounts, and like tagged me and stuff. And so I started growing naturally. And then companies started reaching out to me, offering me free clothing just for like to tag them. And I was like, oh, this is so cool. I love this. One thing turned into another, and I started getting paid by companies. And I didn't even I was at like maybe 20K followers, which was a lot at the time.
It still is a lot now.
And by the time I started doing this, like, it was a little bit, influencing was becoming a little bit more of a thing, and people were getting paid for sponsorships. Anyways, I started making more money doing that than I was at my 2 part-time jobs, and I was still in school. So I was like, why don't I just quit my 2 part-time jobs? I'll do this influencing thing on the side, which requires so much less of my time, and I'm getting paid more than I was before, and I have more time to study. It's more flexible now because I was in a long distance relationship. I can go see my boyfriend more often. Like, it makes so much sense. I ended up, me and my boyfriend ended up breaking up like a few months before I graduated university. Then I graduated. So it was like 2 huge changes in my life at once. When I tell you the identity crisis I went through was the most confusing time, I think, of my entire life.
Well, because you go for so long, and that was kind of my cousin's point, is that she was saying you go so long of having these chapters, and then all of a sudden as an adult, you don't have that anymore. And it's the same repetitive thing, not to be depressing, but like every single day for the rest of your life.
Yeah, of course. You can like, you know, have structure in your life and set goals for yourself and stuff. Like, there's things you can do to help.
But I think the point of like why things seem so fast paced now is, I mean, there's so many factors to it. It's like what we just said, the end of the chapter era. It's now just like consistent all the time. Every time it's the same thing, unless you're constantly going back to school or doing the things that Kyla said. But also social media. We're constantly comparing ourselves to people around the world. Everyone's highlight reels. We see so much more than we've ever seen as human beings before at our fingertips all day, every day. Like, if you don't actually stop yourself,
to wait for things.
It's constant. And then on top of it, you're aging. So things just seem faster. So there's so much to it. And I was reading this Substack article about this person wrote an essay just about, you know, what it was like to like be a kid, especially in our generation. We had technology, we had TV, there was, you know, the home computer, but there wasn't constant access to the internet at the touch of our fingertips at any time. Like, it was very different. And so they were just talking about what could we do to really just slow down. It doesn't have to be every day, but what could we do on, let's say, weekends or in the evenings, or just take a week to really just focus on slowing down and figuring out how we can enjoy life again. And not to say that we don't enjoy life, but how it's just so fast paced.
Present in your own life, in your body, your surroundings. Because like, Yeah, of course. Like you feel like you're present, you know, like you're living your life. You're still interacting with people daily, but you also it's easy to like you have access to what people are doing all around the world.
Not even that. It's like I catch myself sometimes. I'll literally be watching TV, like it's trash TV, so I'm like not really paying attention, but like it's on still. I'm on my phone at the same time, and on top of it, I like have the iPad to like scroll Pinterest or something, or like I'm doing work at the same time. It's like I'll catch myself being like, "Holy shit!" And then I wonder
like
why I have
screens.
Literally, and then I'm like, "Why do I have no attention span?" Like, whoa, you know. So
and when you already have ADD too.
Yeah. I mean, it's better now because I'm on medication, but still like I notice I'll catch myself doing that once in a while, or like Dan and I will be like so tired from the day and we're like, okay, let's like watch a show together, or let's watch a movie, and it takes us forever to even pick something. We're just scrolling forever trying to look for something, which back in the day that wasn't a thing because you didn't have that option. And then when we finally do pick something, then we're on our phones. So we're not even watching what we picked.
Do you want to know something? When I was babysitting Arky, we were watching Guardians of the Galaxy. I've never seen that movie in full.
Yeah.
And I was texting my friend at one point, and Arky looks over at me and he's like, Kyla, are you going to watch the movie with me? And I was like, and I realized like I've probably been on my phone for a solid like 20 minutes right now. And I put my phone away and I was like, I'm like watching a movie with my nephew. I'm babysitting him. And I'm like on my phone texting my friend, like, I should just be present. And like there was already something I could have watched on the TV. I could have texted her being like, oh, I'm just like with my nephew, I'll message you later kind of thing.
Yeah. But it's also like, I find
it's like I need to be doing a bunch of things at once personally.
But also
not as bad
you're
anymore.
like, oh, I must have been texting for 20 minutes. I didn't even realize. But that's where the time goes. Like you don't even realize how fast the time just flies because you're busy, right? Because that's what they say. Time flies when you're either having fun or when you're really busy. I remember the days going by so fast when I worked retail because I would be on my feet, especially on a busy day. I was like constantly doing something. I was exhausted by the end of the day, but it went by so fast versus when I was a lifeguard and I'd be sitting on chair for 15 minutes waiting for the next guard to come get me off, and I was just watching the same person swim back and forth. It felt forever, you know, because you're just sitting there watching someone. And it would be so boring. And I remember feeling like, oh my gosh, this day is taking forever. But I don't have those days anymore of it just being so slow. But my kids do. And so now I've realized by having children, I'm like kind of reliving what I did as a kid, but through their experiences. And I kind of am reteaching myself how to slow down. It is quite hard though, because I am still trying to figure out a good balance of work and like when I'm working, when I'm not working, because I don't like to work when I'm around my kids, but then there's certain times where like I have a deadline or like something comes in and it's a quick turnaround and I'm like, oh crap, I have to do that. Or because I have ADD, I get distracted, and like I literally will open up my phone to get my analytics for Instagram and get distracted by Instagram, by the feed, and I'm scrolling and all of a sudden it's 20 minutes and I'm like, oh shit, I didn't even do what I was supposed to do.
I know. That happens to me too. There's times I literally will be thinking like, oh, I need to do this.
Yeah.
When I'm like sitting, like working in front of my computer, and I get up and the second I start walking, I take a few steps and I'm like, what was I even doing?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I know.
But I remember the feeling that I had when I knew what I wanted to do and it was important.
Mm-hmm. I know that there's like a lot of memory games you can practice to help with memory.
I started reading a book a few years ago. It's called The Memory Book, I'm pretty sure.
That sounds interesting. Oh wait, but I actually, because I had sent it in our notes, I'm gonna see if I can read it without my glasses. We will see. But I had put down kind of more of a like science-based thing, you know, because we did, sorry, my brain literally, it just zapped into nothing.
Yeah, see, we need to get off our phones and technology more.
But, and then here's the thing is that like, I'm like, oh, I'll memorize this to just talk about it. But like, no, I can't.
We're not stimulating our minds enough. No. There's a lot of mindless shows and movies and social media scrolling. There's too much mindlessness.
I find when I'm educating myself on topics that I find interesting, it does help in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Like even when I was researching for this episode just about slowing down and time and whatever, I was learning a lot and I was retaining it. My issue is re-explaining it.
Me too.
Is that I know what I want to say. I don't know how to verbalize it properly. And then if I read it, I'm like, oh, that's exactly what I wanted to say.
Yeah. That is what I struggle with as well, Alex. Like the fact that you're saying that, I feel so understood right now. Not that you were saying it to validate me. When I tell you, I do so much research on things, especially human psychology. Freaking love human psychology. It's a hobby of mine.
Yeah.
I find it so fascinating. Brings me so much joy. And I have been diving into it deeper because it's a way for me to stimulate my mind and not just like mindlessly scroll.
Yeah.
So I'll do a bunch of research on that. And I've been trying to get more into reading as well. Mm-hmm. And I'm noticing a huge difference. Like the more I'm reading, like the more I'm able to articulate myself better. But I still do, like if I'm reading, you know the definition of something or like the concept of something and how, if someone is asking me to explain like, oh, what did you learn about this? Yeah. Like, what does this mean? I understand it. I grasped it in my mind, but like re-explaining it,
I just always sound stupid.
Just like, it's for me, it's my mind like short circuits.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I'm like, I have no idea how to explain this to you.
Sometimes what I do is I will, the saying of like, if you're trying to learn someone's name, when they say, hi, my name is Alex. And then you would say, oh, nice to meet you, Alex. And then at the end of the conversation, I'll see you later, Alex. Like you repeat their name a few times so it gets stuck in your brain. It's just like a trick. Some people say when it comes to retaining information that you can then relay to other people, to learn it as if you're a child, like teach me like as if I'm 5 years old in a very easy way. Or condense this topic into something I can explain to a 5-year-old. And then when you do read it out loud. Like, let's say you're doing it on ChatGPT. Read it out loud and then try to explain it to like as if you're talking to Archie. You literally like just
You know what helps me? You know what helps me? When I'm trying to like grasp the concept of something, if I know that I have to re-explain it properly, or even if I just want to remember, like fully grasp it, not just understand it, but like grasp it, I'll use analogies. Okay. I'm the type of person where I need to, when I'm learning something, I need to have a real life example of it. Okay. Sometimes a few different real life examples of it. So
like you'll make them up in your head type thing, or you'll
yes, but then I'll also go on ChatGPT and try to re-explain it and be like, okay, so this is what I'm understanding from this. Yeah. In a real life scenario, would this make, like, is this what it means kind of thing? Right. And I'll explain the real life scenario, and then ChatGPT will get back to me and be like, yeah, like you are correct about this, but like there's one thing that's missing because it goes a little bit like deeper and it kind of clarifies everything. And then like the more back and forth I do on that, then I really start to grasp it. But even at that, it's very hard for me to explain it to someone. There was something that, I go through phases where I get very fixated and interested in a topic. So like space, for example, is something I find fascinating as well. Yeah. And I was doing a bunch of, because I watched a documentary about
the universe.
No, it was about Einstein. Okay. And anyways,
ooh, that sounds interesting.
I was looking into like a bunch of his theories on ChatGPT because I was curious. I was like, I know who Einstein is, and I know like, more or less the stuff that he invented and whatnot, but like there's so much I didn't understand or even know. So I started researching on ChatGPT, and then like in my mind I was like, okay, E equals MC squared, like that's what he invented. I know that he invented that, but I didn't understand what it meant.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like, now I'm gonna have a hard time explaining it, but it has to do with space.
But see, this is the thing you're practicing right now.
Exactly. But it's basically space-time. He invented space-time. No, he didn't invent it. He was the first to realize that there's a thing called space-time, and that's gravity and mass, which warps time. Mm-hmm. So you could technically travel through time There's things called black holes, which is like going even deeper. There's things called space loops. You could actually, anyways, in like different dimensions and stuff. It messes with me because it basically goes against time being linear. Yeah. And there's a start and an end, and things move forward or backward. It's like, it goes against physics.
Have you watched Interception?
Yes.
And wait, is it called Interception? No.
Interstellar.
Interception.
Inception and Interstellar, which is
Interstellar. Like, have you seen Interstellar?
Yes, I have.
To me, that seems like the most accurate, like using gravity in order to like time travel and everything with the black hole. Like I thought that, I mean, we would never survive as humans doing it, but still that whole concept, I was like, I feel like this makes the most sense to me in my brain.
See, for me, when I watched it, it was years ago, and I was like, this is just fiction. Like, it's not possible. Like, these things are
all theories.
They're theories, but at the same time, the more research I was doing, I was like, they're theories, but there's also science to back it up, and it's been proven. Like, I mean, space-time is a real thing.
Gravity started off as a theory, and we know gravity is real,
but it messes with me. So anyways, all that to say,
we really have ADD because we get so sidetracked.
I know. But I was trying to explain what I learned to someone in my life about like Einstein's whole like space-time and gravity, like what you mass just did now. And everything. I was trying to explain it, but I couldn't articulate it properly. And he started laughing because I was like, I understand it, but it feels really hard for me to explain because it's, even to me, it's like, I understand it, I grasp it, but like, I can't, it makes me sound crazy when I'm talking about it. I don't know.
I don't think it makes you sound crazy. I think I know exactly how you feel because this is what happens to me. Let me know if this is what it is for you. When I'm researching something that I'm interested in, okay? let's say, watch a documentary, I read articles on it, I'm on the internet, I'm talking to people, I'm getting information from so many different multiple sources that condense in my brain together to make me understand or grasp a situation. But relaying it is different because I feel like I don't have access to every single door of where that information came from and who said what and what said what, and it gets all kind of muddled together. I'm not a teacher, so I've never been taught how to explain something properly. And then on top of it, although I do grasp it and understand it, relaying it in a way that is going to make someone else understand all of the information that I consumed over however X many days in one conversation, it doesn't connect in my brain.
Yeah. You know what's actually, that's exactly how I feel, because you're also retaining a lot of new pieces of information and you're trying to make sense of it yourself. So especially if like you haven't fully had time to really grasp the depth of everything. Mm-hmm. Maybe we don't actually grasp it as much as we think, because I think to be able to fully grasp something, that means you are able to explain it.
I don't know properly. Though. I don't know, because there's people they always say there's people that are really good in school, not very good at teaching. There's people that are really good in sports, not very good as coaches. There's people that can be bad in sports, excellent coaches. People that weren't great as students, excellent teachers.
Yeah, that's true. Because I remember I was talking to, this was when I was still in the thick of my fixation on E = MC squared.
I had no idea you were into that. That's so funny. Oh my God,
when I tell you, I was fascinated by it, like deep diving.
Okay.
And it was your birthday when the whole family was here, both sides. And I went to go sit with our uncle, mom's brother. And I won't say his name, just I don't know. But anyways, I went to go sit with him because he knows so much about so many different things, and he's
good at teaching.
He's also a teacher on this. He has his own engineering business. He's a professor on the side.
Yeah.
He writes books as well, and he is a walking encyclopedia. He's so smart, but he's such a good teacher. He's able to explain things so well.
That's why he's a good storyteller.
I know. And so I started talking to him about this fascination that I have with space, because I knew it. I'm like, he's going to be able to explain this to me so properly. He knew everything.
Yeah.
And the way he was explaining it to me, and he was giving me analogies, and I was like, this is a talent. Like you,
yeah,
but also
it really
like
is.
You either have it or you don't.
But I do believe you can
work on it.
Yeah, like let's say there is one subject you love and you love to teach. It's why people do TED Talks for specific subjects. Let's say it's overcoming alcohol abuse, substance, like just alcohol abuse, substance, you know what I mean?
That makes sense.
It's just substance abuse is what I meant to say. It's when you're very much heavily involved in one subject and you have done years of research and you know so much about it and you practice telling people and you go off and you do TED Talks. Let's say you just aren't a good teacher in everything else, but that you're really good at. It is something you can learn.
Yeah, of course. But sometimes it's just really good teachers. It makes all the difference.
Oh, yeah. 100%. I took the same course twice. Okay, granted, I was doing it the second time, so I'm relearning it. But still, the teacher I had was night and day from the first one. Made it so much simpler for me to understand. And I'm like you. I need analogies and problem solving. So especially in math, I needed to have... I was always better when it came to a problem solving question that had the math in it versus just doing an equation and then making a graph.
That's so interesting because I was always so much better at just doing the equations. The second there was a problem solving math situation, problem solving with math involved.
Wait, that's the opposite I remember for you right now.
I remember being so confused, but when it was just an equation, it made so much more sense. But whenever there's a problem solving situation in general that's not math related, okay. I'm so good at, because I'm very analytical. Mm-hmm. I'm very analytical, but put in a real life scenario with a math equation, those two things to me just don't compute in the same way. The way I see, I don't know, it's hard to explain. The way that I see
you were better at chemistry over physics, essentially. Or did you do either?
I did chemistry. I didn't do physics. Did I do physics? I don't remember.
Because physics is very much
Well, I learned there was sections of physics in science class.
No, I mean when you're Sec 5 and you do your physics, your chemistry, and then you're high math, or you can redo it in CEGEP.
So I did.
Did you do high math?
I got my high math. But I did that in CEGEP.
Okay, yeah. Okay. So typically when you do it in high school, you do physics class, chemistry class, and then you do the high math.
Yeah.
And they all go together. So I did all three in CEGEP. Okay. Like you just said. But I remember chemistry, although my labs were okay because I
You did it in CEGEP or high school?
I did in CEGEP because I did low math in high school.
Okay.
So I redid it in CEGEP. So I remember with chemistry, my labs were okay because I remember I'm really good at baking and following, whatever, and doing that. I was good at it. But in just regular class for chemistry, I had a hard time just because it was so just scientific and math and just whatever. Whereas physics, to me, it made more sense because I was able to use the math I was learning in real life equations and learning about, I don't know, I could see it in my brain versus just following rules. And in math, just doing equations, I was like, oh my God, this makes no fucking sense.
See, for me, I hated chemistry, but I did chemistry in university. I took a chemistry course.
Okay. So
it was the scientific notation that I didn't love. Oh, yeah. I don't remember everything else, but I took a biology course. And that was the highest grade that I got.
But that's different.
In university. But yeah, with math and real world scenarios, it doesn't make sense to me. One of the things that I was so confused about that I was actually asking ChatGPT was, how do you, because there's Einstein, there's Isaac Newton, and they came up with all these theories, and they were able to come up with these theories using math. And I was like, how do you use math numbers to come up with a theory? I was like, that makes no sense to me. I don't understand it. And I literally told Chat, I was like, explain it to me like I'm a 5-year-old. Yeah. Because it doesn't make sense to me. Those are two different things in my mind. It's black and white.
Okay.
And what it explained to me was, think of math like a different language. Mm-hmm. So in order to solve this mystery, or to come up with this theory and then to be able to have an answer for it and prove it in a way that is scientific, he's doing it in a different language, which is numbers.
Yep.
And I was like, okay, that I understand. I won't be able to.
But Kyla, you're doing a better job than you just thought you did. Like,
yeah, but I won't be able.
Really well.
It went into more depth.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, I remember it making more sense. I wouldn't be able to explain everything I learned though, because still in my mind, I'm like, it's just like, what? Like, so who invented, like, how, anyways.
Or like the Egyptians with the pyramids and like, or for me, it's the Pythagorean theorem. That to me was like, that made sense. I'm like, oh, yeah.
A squared plus B squared equals C
like
squared.
If you're going to take this spot from this spot to the moon and back, you know, like to me, it was just like back in the day, I could see how someone could use that.
I was actually good at that.
Yeah. But you didn't say you're bad at math, did you? You said you're bad at problem solving math.
Yeah, like there's a TikTok trend.
What?
Where it's like when and I've liked so many of these videos because I'm like, bro, that I could relate to this.
What is it?
So much. It's basically, I'll see if I could even find one. It'll be like a car that's like half missing, but it's floating in the air on a street. And it's like when you're solving a math equation that's like,
and that's the answer you got to.
Like, wait,
that's
hold on.
So funny. Wait, that's actually relatable. It's like, how many people do you have left when they're asking a simple thing? And it's like 0 people, -2 people.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait, what? That doesn't make any sense. So everyone's dead. We went like so off course. Okay, while you're looking for that, I'm going to read this thing that I wanted to read earlier, why time feels different now. So
yeah, look, it'll say something like, Samantha's bed from my math test after I calculated its width. Like,
you guys have
like
seen this trend? Yeah.
I'm like, that's me. It makes no sense. I remember after math tests, like specifically the problem solving ones, I would like talk with my friends and my classmates after, like, oh, what did you get for this answer? And people would always like kind of have like a more or less similar answer, and mine would be completely different.
Yeah, I was like that too.
And I would lie, and I'd just be like, oh yeah, like I said this, but really I was like,
you know, when they would like put the tests down for everyone and then they'd put yours upside down because like they didn't want everyone to see your mark. I don't know if that ever happened to you, or if they still do that now. They would put like everyone's down. I'm like, why don't you just put everyone's upside down?
I know,
because then it's like, you know, the people that failed.
I know.
But yeah, I wanted to read this because this is just kind of about time. So there's the novelty effect. So the more new experiences we have, the more memory. I'm trying to read without my glasses.
Do you want me to read it?
Yeah.
Where am I?
The novelty effect.
Okay. So the novelty effect basically means the more new experiences we have, the more memory markers we create, making time feel fuller and slower.
Yeah. So
that also kind of plays into what I was saying before, which is when you're a kid, you don't have as many experiences to ruminate on. You don't have as much stress. You don't have things going on in your subconscious. Like, everything is new. And so you're actually living in the present moment. Whereas when you're an adult, you have all of these things, all this like baggage.
And it's still the same thing over and over again. Like, unless you're actually actively taking time to learn something new, to experience something new, to do things that you've never done before, then it's just going to say, it's going to feel like time is flying and you're doing the same thing every single day.
Yeah. Routine trap. Adult life is repetitive. That's what we were saying. You wake up, work, scroll, sleep. There's fewer novel memories, so time blurs.
Yep.
Then there's memory density. Kids encode more detail because everything's new. Adults live on autopilot.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like what we just said.
I mean, that makes so much sense. Here it says, add your thoughts. Honestly, it makes so much sense. Last week was a blur, but I remember every detail of that sleepover in grade 7. Bro.
It's so true though, because like, I'm like, what did I have for dinner 2 nights ago? Like, I don't know. Or like, what did we do last week? Because it's all the same every single week. It's the same schedule every single week. But then I have specific core memories from like a sleepover from when we're in 7th grade.
You know what happens to me? I will have a really bad memory, like a goldfish sometimes.
Huh?
Like, I won't remember certain things that like someone told me, even if they've told me many times, and I don't remember because it's like I'm just not, my mind doesn't retain information. So like a perfect example, I remember at my friend's brother's wedding, we were all going to take shots with her cousins. Okay. And her cousin asked me, like, do you want vodka or tequila? And I was like, oh, I want vodka. I don't like tequila. And he's like, what does your friend want? And I was like, oh, she doesn't like vodka. She likes tequila. And then I told her, I was like, oh, I told him to get you. No, I said she likes tequila, not vodka. I don't remember if that's what I just said. See? Oh, anyways, my God, I turned Kyla. To her and I was like, I told him that you prefer tequila over vodka. She's like, no, I don't. She's like, I hate tequila. I was like, what? I thought you were so much more of like a tequila girl and you didn't like vodka. And she's like, no, she's like, I love tequila. It's vodka. No, I love vodka. It's tequila I don't like. For some reason, I had no idea.
Oh my God.
Absolutely no idea. In my mind, I was like, she hates vodka. She's more of a tequila girl. I was completely wrong. But then I will remember something down to every little detail. Like, I will remember what someone said to me,
what they were wearing,
where we were, the body position they were in, the look on their face, how they smelled.
Sorry, my doorbell just rang.
It's FedEx.
Oh.
And I'll remember the date. But it's crazy.
Because that's also the difference between like short-term memory loss and short-term memory and long-term memory. Is that like people can be better one or the other. And I think when everything is so fast-paced now and quick and repetitive, like we were just saying, it hinders our short-term memory.
Yeah.
Because things that we remember in the past when we were much more present and alert and living it day to day. Like, I have specific memories of it being like middle of July, being 15 years old and thinking like, wow, there is so much summer left. Whereas now I'm like, oh my gosh, I blinked and it's about to be start of school.
I know.
Even though it's like we're getting close to the end of July.
You know what's crazy?
What?
I do this sometimes. So I do this when I'm really trying to be present. March of 2023.
Okay.
I was on a boulevard driving somewhere. I was in my car, obviously. Mm-hmm. And I remember the light that I was at. I remember what I was wearing, how I was feeling, and telling myself, like, it's the beginning, like summer's right around the corner and it's going to fly by. And the next thing you know, it's going to be end of summer and you're going to think back to this moment.
Oh my God.
And be like, wow, time just like flew by. Bro, it's not just the end of summer 2023. We're approaching, it's been over 2 years since that happened. And I remember it like it was just a few moments ago.
Yeah. You know what's crazy? You saying that right now, that's exactly what Dan used to say before every trip. We'd be like on the way driving to the airport. He's like, it's going to be crazy that when we're driving home from the airport and the trip is done and we're thinking about this moment right now that we're on our way to the trip. And I'm like, why the fuck are you thinking that?
Sometimes I think about it too. I'll be in the moment and I'll be like, oh yeah, like for a trip, I'll be like, I really need to take this moment in because next thing I know, it's going to be done. And like, I'm going to be thinking back to me right now and how fast it all went. And the me in the future that's going to be looking back at the me now is going to have all of these memories that I right now have no idea.
But does that mean you're not living in the moment because you're thinking about the past, which is thinking about the future, thinking about the past?
This is such a deep conversation. And now I want to do research. I want to look into like why some people think so deeply like this. I think that it's not that you're not living in the moment. It's that you're a deep thinker and you're still in the moment, but you want to appreciate it so much more.
Yeah.
Because you're already like looking at your future self as well and like knowing that it's going to go by fast. So I'm going to ground myself right now and really take in every moment.
Yeah.
Because then like when I'm having these moments of thinking like, okay, this is going to be so like fast. Next thing I know, it's like blinking and it's going to be over. But like when I'm actually in the moment after thinking that, I feel present.
I wonder if that's also what makes us have ADD. Because I was not born with ADD. I think for me, it was very much an environment thing and the fact that I've been on social media for so long and I didn't have proper boundaries with it, and then on top of it had babies and postpartum and all of that and hormones and aging and everything and stress. I think for real it's the fact that I was never really living in the moment. Like I always had a hard time of that. I was always anxious or stressed about the future, or like thinking about the past or whatever. And it made it so hard for me to focus.
Yeah.
And just be there. Like even now, some of the tips I was reading about of like how to be more present: eat your food without listening to a podcast or watching anything or being on your phone. You literally just sit there and eat. You know, and I'm not talking about with friends or family where you're conversing. It's like by yourself. If you're going to eat, don't like do something else. Or if you're on a walk, like a hot girl walk, don't listen to a podcast. Don't listen to music. Just walk. Listen to the nature. Like Dan, when he goes for runs.
Yeah, be aware of your body and how it feels, and like look at your surroundings. Like focus on what you're smelling.
Yeah, or even if you're drinking your morning coffee, when you take the sip, think about the taste, the temperature, how it makes you feel when it goes down. Like little tiny things in the moment that you normally just do so quickly, that are so routine to you, that you're like, oh, I need my morning coffee, I gotta run out the door, I gotta do this. It's like, slow down, take a breath.
It's all about being mindful.
Yeah, mindful, and also not having to always stimulate your brain with everything. Like you were saying, you need to be busy. Like sometimes it's healthy.
I need to be mentally stimulated.
You need to take breaks sometimes.
I need to be mentally I constantly
feel like you need to be mentally stimulated.
Exactly.
But you shouldn't always.
Exactly. And I think that also probably plays a huge role into why I'm not able to sleep.
Oh yeah, it's all a big jumbled. This is honestly such a fascinating episode. There's so much more I want to chat about.
So many people are going to relate to this too.
Yeah, I'm really curious to know if you've made it to the end of this episode and you're watching on YouTube. I would love to know your thoughts in the comments of how you feel in situations. There's a lot of people I know that follow us that are from different areas in the world that either live the city life or they live the country life. And I would love to know the difference in busyness from the two, because I know when you live in the city, it's very fast paced and everything's at your fingertips. You walk outside and there's like a convenience store at a restaurant and everything's right there. Country living, you would think, is more slow paced, but people still are like working in the garden and they're doing activities and they're running around.
They still have technology too.
Yeah. So it's like, I'm very curious to know what you do to slow time down for yourself and how you practice being mindful, and kind of what makes you feel more present. And if you have practiced it, and if you haven't, what are things that you've heard before that you think could be helpful?
Yeah, I'm actually very curious.
I'm curious to know.
Let us know what your thoughts are about this topic, and if you guys have any routines that you, or like self check-ins, any routine, because like tool I'm that wondering, you use that actually has worked for you. Because also another thing I will say, because this is going up after this episode, like you guys have already seen or listened to.
This is going up tomorrow or like tonight.
Yeah, never mind.
I was gonna say too, like I wonder if I were to practice mindfulness like really intensely for a long period of time to be more present, if I didn't need to be on ADD meds, if that would help.
Honestly, it might. But it's one of those things that you don't need to be really intense about it. Even just 5-10 minutes a day. Set aside a little time slot for yourself daily where you're a lot more mindful, and it's probably going to feel weird and like it's not working at first, but you just need to be consistent with it.
You need to learn how to be bored. That's what I teach my kids. Like my son right now, because we're in so many activities, when we come home, he's like, I want someone to play with me. And I'm like, you need to be independent and be bored. Like figure it out. And we really try to focus that. Like at least once or twice a day, he needs to be doing something on his own, and he needs to feel bored and he needs to figure it out, because as adults, I feel like we have a hard time doing that. And it happens in life. So learning from a young age how to be bored and how to figure it out is only going to set you up in the future. And that doesn't mean that you can't do it now as an adult. Like it's something I also practice. When he's independent, I'm independent, and I try to be off my phone. I try to be bored
when you're taught these things at a younger age. Yes, because it's like it's habit too.
Yeah, of course, but it doesn't mean you can't do it. I just think it's like I have a really hard time being bored.
Yeah, so do I.
It's really hard for me to just sit there.
I was actually thinking about this the other day. I was like, one of the worst feelings, or like it's high up there. There's definitely worse, but it's high up there, is feeling bored.
I know. Like imagine sitting on a plane, the screens don't work, your headphones don't work, you can't listen to anything, you don't have a book, your phone is dead, you're by yourself, so you don't have anyone to talk to, you just have to sit there for 3 hours. Kill me. But like it's important to learn how to do that. It's good for you. But like, I actually would hate that. Like, to me, that's a nightmare.
I know. I'm just thinking about that now, and I would be like, I'd probably just try to go to sleep because I don't even want to be awake.
Yeah, that's crazy. Anyway, we hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. I know it's going to give a lot of room for opinions and thoughts, and we'd love to hear them. And we love you guys so much, and we'll talk to you next week.
Bye.
Bye.